a Netflix documentary has just come out it's based on a book by Tom O'Neill called Chaos. And it's about the connections of Charlie Manson. Depends on how close you are with him, you know? If you're not buddies with him, he was Charles Manson. If you were real, like, totes cool with him, Charlie Manson. It's an excellent documentary, but it is mind-blowing. And you could also go listen to the Government Secrets episode where I do a much longer segment on the connections. But here's the biggest part of it. I'll just give you the biggest part of it. Charles Manson, he's in prison, right? He then comes out of prison and he's on parole. When he has to keep checking in with the parole officer once a week, he's on parole. And during that time, that year he's on parole, he's living in San Francisco. He's a regular at, the Haights, down in the Haight area. His parole officer's office is in the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic. And it's also where Charles Manson would come in with his gaggle of girls, underage girls that would follow him around like he was their guru, like he was their god. And they would follow him around and he'd bring them in there for all kinds of medical needs. Apparently prevalent was STD, STI issues, pregnancies, etc. And he was well known in this area. Like, you don't, even in the weird times of hippie central, in drug, LSD central, even in those weird times, people noticed Charles Manson walking around with 7 to 10 young girls following him like he was their god. So everyone knew him. It just so and by the way, he keeps violating his parole. They're always stealing. He's violating it endlessly, and they never lock him back up. Every time he does it, the parole officer's just like, cool, get back out there. Now, why would that be? But more importantly than that, the New York Times and other outlets have revealed the names of just like 8 or 9 of the biggest MK Ultra, Operation Chaos, CIA, psychiatrists and scientists who were in charge of the brain manipulation studies that the CIA and FBI were involved in the 60s. Horrific stuff where they would dose people with LSD and not tell them they were doing it, and had all other kinds of tricks, hypnosis, etc., to see what kind of brain control, what kind of mind control they could perpetrate on these people, whether they could get them to do things, whether they could get false memories implanted in their brain, all of these things. One of the main guys was a guy named Jolly West, nicknamed Jolly. Don't know why. Sounds horrific. Anyway, Jolly West, that guy during that year is working out of that office, the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic office. Same year that Charles Manson is coming in every day. What kind of coincidence is that? That the guy who has a level of mind control you rarely ever see. Like, you remember after he got these women to, there was a guy too, right? Or a couple of guys, Tex Watson. After he got these people to go and murder people they'd never met and feel nothing while doing it. After all that, they're then arrested, or some of them arrested, put in prison. Do you remember the videos? The other ones are sitting outside the courtroom steps on the sidewalk on their knees, talking about how wonderful Charles Manson is and how we all should bow down to him and he's going to save us. Like, that's the level of brainwashing we're talking. A level that is rare, to say the least. He had that ability, Charles Manson somehow did, to create that. And he just so happens to have been in the same office as the lead brainwasher of the most horrific and powerful intelligence agency the world has ever seen. What are the odds? What are the odds? If you take the next step and say, okay, it's connected to CIA, there's different ways that could manifest itself. It doesn't have to be that he was a CIA agent or something. It could be that they screwed him up with their techniques and then sent him out after that. It could also be that they somehow gave him access to their methods to allow him to then brainwash others. There's a lot of possibilities as to what was their connection. He may have never known that the people he was talking to at the Haight-Ashbury Clinic had a connection to CIA or anything. But anyway, Jolly West, by the way, that lunatic psychologist, was also, he's dead now, but he was also the psychiatrist who went in to see Jack Ruby, the killer of Lee Harvey Oswald. He went in to see him weeks before he was going to testify to the Warren Commission. He goes in to see him and he comes out and he says, yeah, he's had a break with reality. He's just saying all kinds of crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense. So basically, Jack Ruby's in prison for a long time, 2 years, I think, and before he dies. And he's never called insane before that. But this guy, Jolly West, spends a few hours with him, comes out. Oh, he's gone insane. I just spent a few hours with him. He went insane. Later when he's about to testify, when Jack Ruby's about to testify again, he suddenly is riddled with cancer that kills him in a matter of weeks after getting injections from a CIA-connected doctor. Huh. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff going on. A lot of interesting stuff at the CIA those days. They were having fun. Say what you will about them. They were having a good time back then.